Ford just told the entire truck world something almost nobody expected to hear this year. While a lot of people assumed the V8 was finally on its way out for good, Ford quietly confirmed the exact opposite for the upcoming 2027 F-150. No fake horsepower wars, no rushed redesign, just a smarter overall plan that most people are completely missing. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you will understand exactly what Ford changed, what stayed the same, and why this decision might be the most underrated move in the entire truck industry right now, and probably one you have not heard explained this clearly anywhere else. For years, the F-150 has stayed on top of the full-size truck market, and it is not because Ford keeps throwing out brand new engines every single year. It is because Ford keeps sharpening what already works, instead of tearing it down and starting over. That approach has kept the F-150 as the best-selling truck in America for decades, and it is a huge part of why so many households across the country trust this nameplate generation after generation. There were plenty of rumors floating around online claiming an entirely new engine family was coming for 2027, and honestly, some of those rumors got pretty wild once they started spreading across social media and truck forums. But once you look past the noise, the real story is much different. Ford is not scrapping its current lineup. Ford is refining it, trimming down the confusing options, and getting the truck ready for tougher emissions rules, while still giving buyers the power and towing they expect from a full-size pickup. So what actually changed on the 2027 Ford F-150? Let us break it all down and separate what is confirmed and what is just internet speculation. Because there is a big difference between the two, and a lot of channels out there are not doing that homework before they hit publish. Let us start with the biggest question everyone has been asking, the one that is probably why you clicked on this video in the first place. Did Ford kill the V8? The short answer is no, and if you have been worried about that headline, you can relax. Reports from within the industry make it clear that the 2027 F-150 keeps its existing engine family instead of rolling out a totally new generation of gas engines. That means, depending on which trim you choose, you can still get the same lineup that made this truck so popular in the first place. There is the 2.7-liter EcoBoost twin-turbo V6, the legendary 5.0-liter Coyote V8, the 3.5-liter EcoBoost twin-turbo V6, the 3.5-liter PowerBoost hybrid system, and for the Raptor R, the supercharged 5.2-liter Predator V8. That is 5 distinct powertrain options still on the table, which honestly gives Ford one of the broadest lineups in the segment. Instead of reinventing everything from scratch, Ford is polishing engines that have already logged hundreds of thousands of miles across real-world trucks in driveways and job sites all over the country, from ranches in Texas to construction sites in the Midwest and everywhere in between. Now, you might be wondering why Ford did not just fire back at General Motors and its upcoming 6th-generation V8 program with a brand new engine lineup of its own. Some truck fans expected exactly that, especially with all the chatter comparing Ford and GM head-to-head over the past year. Instead, Ford took the more calculated route, and honestly, it is probably the smarter one when you really think it through. Building a completely new engine family from the ground up is not cheap, and it is never as simple as just swapping parts on an assembly line. We are talking billions of dollars poured into engineering, emissions certification, new tooling, and manufacturing changes, along with years of development before a single production unit ever rolls off the line. With emissions regulations tightening every year and the entire auto industry slowly shifting toward electrification, manufacturers are leaning toward improving what already works, rather than replacing it every few model years just to chase a headline. Most industry experts see this as the lower-risk path, since the current EcoBoost and Coyote engines already have mature production lines, years of durability testing behind them, and a massive service network ready to support them, whether you are at a Ford dealership in a big city or a small shop out in a rural town. Let us talk about the EcoBoost engines, because they are still doing a lot of heavy lifting in this lineup, and they honestly do not get enough credit for how far they have come over the years. The 2.7-liter EcoBoost keeps earning respect from engineers thanks to its compacted graphite iron block, dual fuel injection setup, electronically controlled wastegates, and strong, low-end torque that makes it feel much bigger than its size suggests when you are merging onto the highway or pulling away from a stoplight. Earlier updates to this engine also added dual primary timing chains and reduced internal friction, which boosts both durability and efficiency over time. And that matters a lot if you plan on keeping your truck for the long haul instead of trading it in every few years. Then there is the 3.5-liter EcoBoost, which remains one of the strongest towing engines you can get in this entire segment, full stop. Its wide torque curve makes a real difference when you are pulling a trailer, climbing a steep grade, or accelerating with a heavy payload sitting in the bed. And that is exactly the kind of real-world scenario most truck owners actually deal with on a weekly basis. Unlike a naturally aspirated engine that needs higher RPM to hit peak torque, this twin-turbo V6 delivers serious pulling power much earlier in the rev range, and that is still one of its biggest advantages over a lot of traditional V8 rivals on the market, especially when you are loaded down and merging onto a busy interstate. Here is the part every die-hard truck fan wants to hear, and honestly, it is probably why you clicked on this video after seeing that title. The 5.0-liter Coyote V8 is staying right where it belongs. This truly naturally aspirated engine is not going anywhere for 2027, and Ford is not quietly phasing it out the way some rumors have suggested. It continues to attract buyers who want that classic V8 sound, linear power delivery, simpler long-term ownership, strong aftermarket support, and dependable towing performance that has been proven over multiple generations of F-150 owners. Ford has continued refining this engine over the years, and recent updates to the wider Coyote family include improved airflow, revised intake components, and stronger internals on the performance-oriented versions. That shows Ford is still actively investing in this platform instead of letting it fade away or treating it as an afterthought. For truck owners who prefer the feel of a naturally aspirated V8 over turbocharged power, the Coyote remains one of the last true V8 options left in the half-ton pickup segment. And that alone makes it a big selling point for a huge portion of Ford's customer base across the country who grew up around V8 trucks and are not ready to give that up. Now here is something that might actually be the bigger story here, even bigger than the V8 conversation everyone keeps focusing on. Ford is putting more weight behind the PowerBoost hybrid system than ever before, and it is quietly becoming one of the most important parts of the entire lineup. This setup pairs the 3.5-liter EcoBoost V6 with an electric motor, and the result is strong horsepower and torque numbers combined with noticeably better fuel efficiency compared to a standard gas engine, which is exactly the kind of balance a lot of American truck buyers have been asking for. Industry analysts expect Ford to keep expanding its hybrid lineup because it helps the company meet emissions targets without giving up towing capability or everyday drivability, which is a tough balance to strike in this segment. For a growing number of buyers, the PowerBoost hybrid has become the sweet spot, delivering a solid mix of performance, fuel economy, and real-world work capability that fits how most people actually use their trucks day to day, whether that means a daily commute during the week or towing a boat down to the lake on the weekend. One of the more interesting changes for 2027 is not even about the engines themselves. It is about which engines you can actually get depending on the trim you choose. And this is the kind of detail that could easily slip past buyers who are not paying close attention when they walk into a dealership. Ford has simplified things by narrowing down which powertrains are offered on certain trim levels. For example, higher-end trims like the King Ranch and Platinum now lean heavily on the 3.5-liter EcoBoost and the PowerBoost hybrid, while buyers who specifically want the 5.0-liter V8 will need to look at other trims such as the Lariat, Tremor, STX, XLT, or the Base XL. From a manufacturing standpoint, this move cuts down on production complexity and makes ordering more straightforward for both the factory and the dealer network. But for customers, it also means your trim choice may now play a bigger role in determining which engine ends up under your hood. So it is worth doing your homework before you sign anything, especially if getting that V8 sound and feel is a deal breaker for you. The transmission side of things is staying consistent too, which should be reassuring news if you already own an F-150 and know exactly how this drivetrain feels on the road. Ford's 10-speed automatic transmission is carrying over without major changes for 2027. Since it was first introduced, this transmission has helped improve highway fuel economy, acceleration response, trailer towing performance, and overall engine responsiveness across the lineup. And it has held up well over years of real-world use in all kinds of driving conditions. With its closely spaced gear ratios, the transmission keeps every engine operating in its ideal power band far more often than the older 6-speed automatics ever could. When it comes to towing, that translates into fewer big RPM drops when you are climbing a hill, along with smoother shifting when you are hauling something heavy behind you, whether that is a horse trailer, a camper, or a loaded equipment trailer heading to a work site early in the morning. So what are the experts actually saying about all of this? The people who study this industry for a living and are not just guessing based on spy shots and rumors. Most automotive analysts agree that Ford's approach lines up with where the market really is right now, especially with buyers becoming more practical about what they actually need out of a truck. Instead of chasing flashy horsepower numbers just to make headlines, Ford is putting its energy into improving reliability, streamlining manufacturing, meeting emissions requirements, expanding hybrid technology, and simplifying production across the board. All things that matter far more to a working truck owner than an extra 10 horsepower on a spec sheet. This strategy also lowers Ford's engineering risk while freeing up more resources to invest in future electrification programs and next-generation software features. A lot of experts believe that steady, incremental improvements tend to benefit truck owners more than constantly swapping engines every couple of years, mainly because proven designs usually come with better long-term reliability and easier access to parts down the road. Let us also clear up what did not happen, because there has been a lot of speculation floating around online, and some of it has gotten pretty far from reality by the time it makes its way through social media. Despite what some rumors suggested, there is currently no official word confirming a brand new gasoline V8 family for the 2027 F-150, a completely new EcoBoost architecture, a new diesel engine option, or a fully redesigned chassis. Most reliable reports point to this generation continuing with steady, evolutionary updates, while a true ground-up redesign appears to be saved for a later model year down the road, likely once Ford has a clearer picture of where emissions rules and electrification demand actually land. So here's the bottom line on all of this. That headline promising dramatic engine changes might grab your attention, but the real story is actually more layered, and honestly, more important for everyday truck owners. The 2027 Ford F-150 is not about tossing out engines that already work great. It is about sharpening them even further. Ford is sticking with one of the most complete and capable engine lineups in the entire truck industry, and that includes the fuel-efficient 2.7-liter EcoBoost, the hard-working 3.5-liter EcoBoost, the fuel-saving PowerBoost hybrid, the dependable 5.0-liter Coyote V8, and the high-performance supercharged 5.2-liter V8 found in the Raptor R. For truck buyers across the country, this means you are getting familiar, proven capability with meaningful improvements instead of change just for the sake of change. The biggest differences you will notice for 2027 come down to a more simplified engine strategy spread across the trim lineup, continued refinement of technology that has already proven itself, and a much stronger push toward hybrid power as Ford tries to balance performance, efficiency, and the emissions requirements coming down the road. These changes might not sound as exciting as a completely new engine on paper, but they represent a practical, real-world evolution that should genuinely benefit the people who rely on their F-150 every single day, whether that is hauling equipment to a job site, towing a camper on the weekend, or just getting through a daily commute with confidence. At the end of the day, Ford did not refuse to kill the V8 out of stubbornness. They kept it because it still works, because customers still want it, and because there was no good reason to throw away an engine that has earned its reputation over decades of real-world use. That is a decision built on data and demand, not nostalgia. And it is one more reason the F-150 continues to lead this segment heading into 2027, even as competitors keep experimenting with different engine strategies of their own. If you found this breakdown helpful, let me know down in the comments which engine you would actually choose for your own F-150. And stick around the channel for more updates as we get closer to the official 2027 model year reveal, because there is a lot more coming on this truck in the months ahead.